conduit ever in the whole week that I'll allow myself to get that drum set. I gotta hold myself somewhat accountable. I've been spending too much fucking money on this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that because when I first like decided that this is what I wanted to do, like I kind of went down like this rabbit hole of buying like instruments. So I got this guitar, I got a I got a what's it called? It's a Congo. Not a bongo, but it's a Congo. It's an African style drum. I got
I
a
got
I got a Novation
like
launch
these.
pad, so it's just like it's like that. It's like that, but bigger. It's just one, and it's just one. It's just like a big drum.
Oh shit!
I would pull it out, but I don't want to go get it.
You like the Novation?
I got a MIDI keyboard. Uh, I mean, to me, like a tool is a tool. Like every tool has its like different purposes, and I like the launch pad because it allows you to to like use the same note and get a different pitch. So I could use one snare, one kind of snare, and get a higher or lower pitch out of it and make a beat out of just one snare, or like a drum and a snare if I want to. But I got a MIDI keyboard too. I just haven't figured out like how to use it because that one's like
Is
it's
that the
got like
thing where you can
a go ahead. Can you hear me? Yeah, hello.
is breaking up?
Hello.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me though.
Technical difficulties. Yours is just like a little bit laggy. It's like skippy a little bit.
Let me know whenever you can hear me clearly.
It keeps like changing. Like it'll go to black and then it'll like come back and then it'll skip and then I'll hear you normal and it just keeps changing. Let me see if I can alter anything in the settings. Uh,
Bro, this 7 string.
I don't know why yours. Alright, there you go. You're clear now, I think. I think it might have fixed itself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Bro, this 7 string. This is like so like I've like tried learning on a 6 string like a couple times, but I never really followed through with it. And then I got this one because I just liked the way it looked. So now I'm actually like learning how to play guitar on a 7 string. So it's like it's a lot different than your standard like 6 string because it's got this top
I
string.
don't think I've ever
Wait, you said you don't think you've ever what? Sorry.
I don't think I've ever played anything besides a six string or a bass.
Well, it's like it's
What is
so the biggest difference is first off it's wider because it has to compensate for that extra string. So your fretboard is much wider. So you have to like manipulate your hands a lot differently than you would on a like 6 string. You have a like that extra like I don't know, I would say like quarter inch maybe right there if that. But it's still a lot. And then this is a bass string. Do you hear it?
Oh, it puts in I didn't know if it put it in a higher or a lower.
No, it's high. It's lower. So um like if I'm just because
That's
right
for
now,
that like that gallop shit and heavy metal, how they get them gallops and stuff.
yeah. I mean, technically, this is like a metal style guitar, but I'm not necessarily like learning how to play metal on it. I just want to like utilize it. I want to try to figure out like I want to. I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so you know how about last week we were talking about like a lot of the best artists, the greatest artists that we love and we listen to. They never even learned music theory. They just started playing shit. They just started playing, and they figured out what sounded good to them, and they pieced it together and made songs with it like that. That's what I'm doing right now. Is like I'm just finding the 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 unique sound on this guitar. I mean, it's gonna take me time to actually figure out how to play it like smoothly. So right now, I'm just hitting like as many like I'm just trying to find what sounds good, and then I practice the notes or chords that sound good, and I don't even know what they are. Like I'm not too concerned with like learning notes and chords necessarily right now, as I am like just getting comfortable with hearing what it sounds like.
No, no, I get that totally. That's what, like, all the shit that I do on my instruments. Like, I'm not like really good. I would consider like a virtuoso, but I know my way around to like find little things like I like that give me like little sparks to make something. Like earlier, I was just fiddling around on it, and I was, I was just jamming around, and I was like, and I started feeling it, and I was like, oh, that shit gives me like some fucking Santana vibes right there. And
I
just
like
fucking
that.
around, just having fun with that shit.
So you got to do. That's just what you got
I've
to do.
I've been through the period, and like, don't get me wrong, it's good. It's good to have like inspirations and like people that inspire you to play and motivate you to play. But realistically, I feel like the best thing you can do is just fucking noodle around, I guess you would say. I like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I like all that blues shit, the BB King and all that. And there was a time in my life where, whenever I first started playing guitar, where I'd practice 4 hours a day. It was like probably like a 2 month period where I practiced 4 hours every single day on the guitar. I just had time to do it, and I got burned out so quick. I got burnt out so bad that I didn't play it again for like another 2 years. So I had to the only way I reintroduced it to me was by just doing simple ass shit like fucking like preschool level like chords, just like the basic four chords, and I came up with a song, and it kind of got my balls rolling on doing it. And then I just started doing covers, and that's the only way you really gonna stick with it. I feel is if you're actually true to yourself, have fun with it.
Yeah. What the fuck is your problem, dude? Hold on.
Your cat.
My cat just knocked off my shit off the wall. Like, what is your problem, dude? I'll deal with that later. I feel like The last week, ever since we started talking about it more, you said something about your guitar, and then I picked up mine, and then I did not put that guitar down until like I went to sleep that night, and ever since then I've just constantly had it around, like, and I have like a really,
Yeah,
really
I swear.
No, what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was gonna say pretty much the same thing.
Um, I've had a deep connection with the guitar specifically for like my entire life, just because my mom was married to somebody who, uh, he worked on motorcycles and he played guitar, and they got me my first Strat when I was like probably like 6. Um, and I was very interested in playing, but um, I feel like a lot of the reason I didn't pursue it more and actually follow through with it was because I was discouraged as a kid a lot. Like, oh, like, well, you shouldn't focus on that because yada yada, like, or you should worry about like getting a career or this and that. So, like a lot of times I just didn't follow through with things that I was truly passionate in. But uh it's just now I've already gotten past all that, and I've reconnected with that inner child, and the inner child in me is like, just play, just don't worry about anything else, just play.
I agree with that completely. I, I'm not. I don't know. I like the guitar. I get. I have like a bunch of them. I get drawn to them every once in a while, but I like just to go from this thing to this thing, and
Me too.
I'm trying to get myself to create more right now. Like my biggest problem is like I can play a little bit, but I'm almost like addicted to watching and like learning more than I am just playing, and I know deep down that that can only take me so far. So I have to at some point just stop watching all that shit or consuming so much shit and create. I still haven't. I was gonna make a video last week about create more than you consume, but I ain't made it yet because I haven't even followed my own advice.
Yeah, I mean, uh, some of the best artists in the world, they didn't really watch that many videos on how to be a better musician. They just became the musician that they knew they were. And if you have
Hmm.
confidence in yourself that you can create beautiful pieces of art, beautiful pieces of music, then, obviously it takes time to mature in your, in the craft, especially with music, because there's, especially like with what we want to do, we don't want to just be like a guitarist, or we don't just want to be move a pianist or anything like specific. We want to do it all. So um it's going to take a little bit of time and effort and patience to develop um the skill to learn how to do those things. It doesn't come overnight.
Hmm. Well, for me, it's not so much like the skills that I'm waiting for because, well, I get frustrated sometimes. Like the other day, I was trying to figure out like what seemed like the most simple thing in Ableton. I wanted to just fucking loop my instruments. Like I wanted to just, I had the idea. Alright, I'm gonna make a bass line, loop it. I'm gonna make a guitar line, loop it, and then sing over it, rap over whatever the fuck I was gonna do. And I spent like an hour and a half, and I swear I couldn't find a single fucking video. They were all like live loops, and I didn't want a live loop. I just wanted a fucking loop, and it took me like 3 hours, but I didn't give up on that shit, and I finally figured out how to do it. I think it's the hard way and the wrong way to do it. I still feel like there's an easier way to do it, but I figured out to get to my destination I was trying to get to. But I be I just get obsessed with certain what I consider artists. Like the reason why I'm not so drawn to certain like these like Juilliard music school like virtuoso Mozart musicians is just because like to me I don't they're artists, don't get me wrong, I mean they're still making art, but whenever I think of artists I think of like a David Bowie. I just watched this documentary of David Bowie where it's like he had these like fashion and characters that he designed. He would start in plays and movies and ballets, and he made little movies on his phone, like, and he'd oil paint all these things, as well as the fucking biggest rock star around. And then to see people like Prince, similar, Kurt Cobain. I watched his documentary like a long time ago, The Montage of Heck, where it's like he did the same thing. He didn't just spend all this time watching TV or anything. It's like he's like drawing fucking stick drawings or like painting with his fingers, just like all this shit. That's how he took his time out as a teenager. But for me, I was encouraged to do things. Like I remember my grandparents encouraged me a lot, and my parents encouraged me as much as I saw them. But at the same time, it just, with all these fucking new age distractions, I kind of built up that addiction to it all. And there's certain ones that I still haven't been able to shake. Like the consuming of like YouTube. YouTube's like my worst fucking enemy because I just constantly see new things. Oh, I need to watch that. Oh, that'd be so good.
I think it's just a matter of balance, like we talk about. Like it's a like I feel like maybe what would be more beneficial for you, because I've been there too, and I still struggle with it sometimes. When you learn something new that you don't know, first implement that new thing that you learned. Try to implement that new thing so that it becomes a muscle memory. And then once you learn it somewhat and you're able to practice it on your own, then watch another thing that gives you more knowledge. It's like reading a book, right? You don't want to skip to the last page of a book before reading the other content first and actually absorbing what that is, because without that previous knowledge, the knowledge at the end of the book doesn't really make that much sense.
Well, I guess I get these obsessive thoughts towards certain things. Like, for instance, whenever I was like 12 years old, I saw like some sort of thing on airbrushing. And I thought it was like the coolest fucking thing. And I just spent hours and hours obsessing over it. Oh, I need to get an airbrush. I need to get an airbrush. Like 3 months go by. I'm just like obsessed. I don't even have an airbrush. And I'm just thinking about how I finally get one. And I don't even remember like 2 drawings I did with it. Like that sort of like reoccurrence happened. So I did that same shit with tattoos. I bought a fucking $100 worth of like tattoo machine shit, and I just never even ended up using it once I got it. Once I finally got it, and that one was way quicker because with Amazon you can get your shit in like 3 days. So it was only like 3 days, and it's not. Whenever I say obsession, it's not like, oh yeah, man, I think this is pretty cool. It's like I'm like fucking like dialed in on watching like videos of Ed Hardy's like Journey to Japan and like getting deep in this shit. And I do that so much with certain things. I'm just hoping. I feel deep down like the music is calling to me, and I love making it. I've experienced the feelings like a Rick Rubin talks about, and how good it is. But I'm just like hoping that I'm not that same way right now with music. Like once I get my drum set, or once I get this piece of equipment or this, that I'll just give up on it again, because I've yet to make anything really new. I've just kind of reworked my older music that I made.
Well, I think that, like, just from my point of view, from what I see with you so far, is that it's all those obsessions that you have. It was an energy that was within inside yourself, a passion to create something, and you had a deep appreciation for these things that most people really don't appreciate, because of the burning desire in you to do something, to create something greater than you understand. And um you know, we've gone down this path alone, you know, us individually, separately, we've both had our different experiences, but with the same thing, because me and you are so similar in the fact, in the aspect of like going after our dreams, and you know, not stopping, not conforming to what other people want us to do, but going after what we know we want. Even though we didn't know what we wanted, we knew it was there. So we tended to gravitate towards anything that seemed interesting, because we knew we had something inside of us. We know we have something inside of us, and we wanted to express it, but we kind of identified that feeling with a lot of things that we found interesting. I think there's something to say for being like interested in something because it's cool or whatever, and then being actually passionate about doing something. Um, I think that you going out of your way to set up a whole studio in your spare room, and um, understanding that you've always had a passion for music that you kind of neglected. Um, if you think about it, like we're here in this moment right now talking to each other. I had no idea that you had a passion for music, but my passion um, was recently brought back up a few months ago, and then we started talking about it, and then it kind of helped you realize where you were veering off the path of your true purpose. And from what I see in you is that you genuinely enjoy just playing music, and it's not about even making it, you know, because like the the moment of creation, the moment of creating a track or creating a song is is never gonna be the end of your experience in making music. Like, I mean, we're gonna make songs, we're gonna make plenty of songs, you know, and they're not all gonna be um they're not all gonna be like perfect, you know, in to our ears, but like I don't know. It's just like for me, I think that I get exactly what you're saying with not wanting to fall off, but it's about when you start to hear those, or not hear, but feel those feelings of like boredom towards this. It's not because of the thing, it's because you're doing the wrong things with the thing. Like
Well,
we get bored
it,
very
it's
fast.
not
So
really like even.
go ahead.
It's not really like a feel of boredom. It's more of like a like I got a wall to climb to do it. It's not like I'm bored with it, because once I push myself, like the gym, like going to the gym, it takes effort to go. It takes effort to go in the car and drive and then walk in, greet all the different people, be in that atmosphere. It takes effort. But for me, whenever I went to the gym, that effort was really easy. I had that effort at one point on autopilot. I've kind of fallen off with it. Like, I'm going to go work out. I worked out this morning, but I half-assed the shit out of it, and I'm going to go finish it after we do this pod. But it's like, at one point, I had that on autopilot. But it's like, right now, I want that autopilot with creating something. Where it's just like, no motivation, nothing. It's just like, I love doing this, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to find myself doing it. But what end up being the case is I end up finding myself watching something. Or, convincing myself to wait till I have something. Or I'll get discouraged because I will make something and it will be the first time I've made it in a while, and it's nothing like how I want it to be, and then I get discouraged by that and I fall down the wall, and I got even more to climb up to get back on track, get back into that easy routine. But I don't know, I get jealous kind of. I don't know if I'm jealous or that I'm like fantasizing it by watching these people. Like, I watch a Rick Rubin, like that fucking, I will say, that documentary I told you about on Showtime, it's like 4 40-minute episodes. That shit is crazy, bro. that is the best piece of Rick Rubin anything I've seen in so long. It's got like everybody from like that Sad Guru guy to Mac Miller to like all these like fucking what is his name, Martin Scorsese in there. Like that studio he had is like legendary. But I find myself like watching these people like David Bowie, who is just in the truest sense an artist. Like with the stuff he did, from painting to all these things, it was like he could lose all his money and he would still be creating. And I just don't know if I could say so. I don't know if I can say that for myself or if I just add too many variables into it.
I don't know, bro. I mean, this just goes back to going with the flow, bro. Like, if you know yourself enough to know that, you know, you get burnt out on things quickly, not because the thing is getting boring, but because of... I'll say this. For me, I gave up on a lot of things because it didn't come easily. It didn't come quickly. You know, like I had a very strong passion to do the thing, but my expectations of how fast it would work out, ruined the interest I had in the thing, and that's because I set expectations for it. With making music, you have to release all expectations. You have to release, with making art in general, like Rick Rubin says, it's an offering to God. It's not something that we can control. It's not something that we can dictate how things turn out. We just have to naturally develop the flow. We have to naturally develop the okay, I'm gonna put these drums in and then doom piece it all together real quick and then make a song. Like, these people, the people that we love that do that, have done that, they didn't just start off like doing it. Like, they had to constantly practice their instrument, their whatever it was. They didn't just hop in the motherfucking studio and make a fucking hit in one day. Nah, that shit ain't how that works, bro. Like, I don't care who says it. Nobody is just off the rip born making these complex tracks and shit. No, this happens from the people are born with the passion and desire to create music, but the skill itself is not naturally endowed into us. That's something that comes from the passion and desire to make music. So because of the passion I have, it will take me to learn the skills I need to learn to make more complex sounding music, more diverse, more just everything. The more you learn from doing, the better you will become. And the top producers will have, Rick Rubin has probably created over, or has worked with over, 20s, 30s, 40,000 fucking songs at least, probably way more than that, but that's just the ballpark. He's done this so many times that it's become a natural instinct for him to know exactly what he's going to do without actually knowing what he's going to do. It just came off the dome. And that came from experience and skill and knowledge. It didn't come from birth. It wasn't just in him at birth. The passion was, the desire to create was, but the skill was not there because he had not yet been evolved to that character of knowing how to do those things.
Yeah, I know. I know deep down it comes from me just like not giving it enough time.
Yeah.
And just like, it might have been birthed from like this like hustle culture shit I was in for so long with like those videos where it's like I'm making like 300 pieces of content a week. I'm not saying that to validate myself. I'm just saying it as an example.
Yeah.
I'm like making all of this shit, and like with the music, it's like the complete opposite. Like, don't get me wrong. There is practice. It's definitely related, like with the practice and seeing yourself get better there. But it doesn't have like that it doesn't have that art. I put out a video every day for like 2 years, and it gets me an audience, and it's like I'm in the process of like growing. Whenever I do like the music without that, without like that, putting it out into the world per se, I feel like almost like I'm wasting time in a sense. Like I'm not utilizing it as I'm not optimizing my time as much as I could be, because say I get good by it, I've had this lesson bestowed upon me that the fucking online up content takes a really long time, and it is 100% not guaranteed to work out for you with what my videos have taught me. And I just have a hard time practicing my music and all this shit for it to just not pan out into anything, which maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way. Saying it like that, it makes it sound like I'm thinking about it just monetarily, which I'm not. But there's definitely that voice in the back of my head that says, "Oh, you're making no progress towards this other thing."
That's your ego, my friend. That's your ego trying to keep you in the same spot you've always been in, because understand that growth is not comfortable, you know? Growth is not easy. But what's worse, right? Think about it. And I know you know this, but I'm just talking to the audience as I'm talking to you. It's much more painful to stay in the same spot and not go anywhere than it is to evolve your mind, your spirit, your body, and change as a person. And it doesn't come easy. That's the thing, bro. People don't. The hard part that me and you often bring up, that people like talk about, like this being the hard part. This is the part where people quit, and it's when that voice in your head tells you, "Oh, well, this isn't going anywhere. This isn't doing anything for you." Yada yada yada. None of that shit matters, bro. This is the thing. This is what you gotta ask yourself. Does what I'm doing make me happy? Do I like to do this thing? Okay, if I like to do this thing, then I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't care how fast I get good at this thing, and I don't care about what this might bring me, like as far as material wise. My thing is for me personally, and I'm sure you can take some relation out of what I'm about to say. I have no expectations of where I'm going. I just know I'm going very far places, and I'm bound to change the world. If not the whole world, the people around me. I'm going to be the best, the most positive influence I possibly can be. I'm going to uplift my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm going to inspire love, inspire unity, respect, peace, and I'm gonna do that while also evolving myself. It doesn't matter, bro. I don't care if I turn out to be a musician or if I turn out to be a businessman. I'm still gonna play music, you know. I don't care if I make any money off of this. I don't care. I know I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to be very successful, and I am very successful. I feel successful. I know I'm successful. All these things, you have to be secure in the fact that you know where you're going, because you have the desire to get there. And it's not about knowing how you're going to do it, or none of that matters right now, because manifestation happens from the point of imagining it going to happen and knowing that imagination will become real. It's okay, I'm going to be successful. I don't want to worry about money. I don't want to worry about what I'm driving. I don't want to worry about anything materialistic. All I know is, okay, what I do want, I want to be financially secure. I want to be financially independent. I want to be able to take care of my family and my friends and be able to help in a way where even if that's not monetarily, or if I can help physically, give my time to people. I want to be able to do that. In the current state that the society lives in right now, is nobody has time for each other, because we're giving it all away to other people. We're giving it to corporations and businesses, and we're giving all of our time and our energy to these people. And my goal is to escape that that escape that cycle of toxic behavior. What I do know is this: I love making music. I love it so much. I love listening to music. I have no expectations of becoming famous or whatever. What I do know is I want to make music and I want people to hear it and I want it to inspire other people. Anything outside of that, anything that comes with that, like everything that comes with that, I'll take it as it is, you know. And I'm confident that I could make music, a good music, to where I will gain a lot of attention, a good attention, and it could potentially take me in that. I know that that's a possibility, but I also know it's a possibility that I could just make really amazing music and not very many people hear it, but that's okay. I just know what I'm called to do. What I'm called to do is just do what I love to do, and take care of like take care of myself fully, and take care of what I can, do what I can, and learn as much as I can, and create as much as I can, without any expectations of how it's going to turn out. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot less expectations and reliance on like money and fame than I used to. Like I feel like my angst has gone down a considerable amount over the past couple months, gradually, as I've been like kind of aligned, but I still feel like I'm like light years away from being free in that spirit, as like say like a Rick Rubin is. Like it's I get caught up too much in the complications. Like it's almost like I get a path, and the space in between my achieving the goal is just too large for me to not get distracted by certain things. And it's like they're not all related either. Like the distractions that I get caught up in, like some of them are like, oh, my grandpa, I want to spend so much time with him. I've gotten over the art in a way. I've singulared my focus in my art. For the longest, my problem was I can't figure out if I want to make movies. I can't figure out if I want to do this. I can't. I've come to the conclusion that music is my main focus, and the paintings and all of that I will still 100% pursue, because I love just being a full all-around artist with just like all art forms. But music is my singular focus, and I get caught up with other complexities, like religion will hook me sometimes. The stress of like impending death with certain family members stick to me sometimes. The stress of like dissociating from my current actions, like with music versus my normal job, and then all the problems that the people are having at my job that I have to like include into my life. It just, I don't know, it starts to get where it suffocates me in a sense, where it starts to just stagnate me, where all I want to do is just consume instead of produce. It takes my energy away from all that. Because like for me, creating, there is no feeling like it. Like that painting, I'll have a painting there and a painting there that are the only two musical ones that I've done, like music was, and like I love them.
Yeah.
Whenever I created them, I've never felt more proud of anything I've done in my life. Well, that might be an overstatement, but like there was just a sense of pride that I haven't felt in a long time. And I want to keep pursuing that, but it just like I start getting so emotionally and mentally drained with all these other things and other thoughts and shit I want to do in different worlds. Like there's so many different little worlds that you can put your time into. Like, oh man, I listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger today by accident, and now I'm back into like this mindset of bodybuilding and how much I love it. And oh, I watched this and this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's just I get
No,
pulled
I
in all
definitely
these
get you, bro.
different, where I feel like that's what slows me down with a lot of it, and I do get jealous because there's been three main people who I've been like watching, observing, and trying to learn from, and that would be Rick Rubin mainly, and I branched off to Mac DeMarco, like the Chamber of Reflection guy. I started so much watching so much of his shit, and then Mac Miller. They're so similar to me. Like whenever you watch, it's just all pure creation. They don't care about nothing else but that, and that's what I want. But it's hard.
So the advice. So basically, I've been in the exact same place that you've been in not too long ago, actually. Um, and it was right when I discovered my passion for wanting to create music. Um, like, so how I came to this revelation was, um, I remember my inner voice, my consciousness, which we like to call God. So for the lack of confusion, we'll say God. God spoke to me, and I'm pretty sure music was playing or something. And this is before I got like all these instruments. I was just sitting at the house, and I was like, I was just like sitting there, and I was like, hold up, I love music, and I love the idea of creating it, and I know that I have a passion inside me that needs to be expressed, and I feel like music is that expression that I need, like that the way I feel and how I want to the my feelings. I want to spread my love that I have inside me, but the way that God told me to do that was to express myself through music. And from that point on, that's all I've like, I focused on other things, don't get me wrong, but that's all I wanted to do. And stop stepping on my computer, bro. Um the the it was a struggle for me at first because I had the passion, I had the confirmation to go after it, but then I didn't have the drive to actually like practice every day or do like, I had this self doubt in my head telling me, well, yeah, you like to do it, but you really can't do it. Like you're not good enough to do it. Like you're shit, basically. Because I would pick up like an instrument, and I wouldn't it wouldn't sound that good when I'm playing it. And then I had to remind myself, like, bro, you just started learning how to even play instruments. You don't know how to read music. You don't. So like I can't give myself a hard time for any of this shit, because at the end of the day, like, this is part of my story. I was not trained classically. I have no prior training in music, but I learned all this on my own. And you can say the same thing. We both can say the same thing. We didn't get any classical practice. We didn't get an instruction manual. What we did was we had to learn it ourselves, and that's because we are so passionate in it that we we have that voice in our head telling us that we're not good enough, but our love for the craft outweighs the doubt inside of our mind, which lets you know that you're doing the right thing. Because if something that you're doing, and if doubt can stop you from doing the thing that you're doing, then you obviously aren't invested in it enough to ignore the doubt in your mind. Because as soon as doubt creeps in and you let doubt overcome you, the doubt wins. But I mean, you still got your bass. You still had your bass in your hand. You still tapping the sticks on the drum pad. Like, you have the doubt trying to tell you that you're not doing the right thing, but your love and your passion is outweighing that doubt. But right now, all you hear is the doubt inside yourself. And I've been there personally. And all I can say is, you're gonna have your peaks, and you're gonna have your drops. It's just about going with the flow And when you start learning more and doing more and just letting it come out of you, the more you start to realize like it's the process, it's the journey, it's not the destination. So this journey, the journey, the everything, the how you feel, the what you do, the amount of time it takes you to get to where you want to go, all of that is important, and you must be fully involved in the present moment with whatever you're doing, like whatever it may be, with working, with cooking. You must be fully present and aware and understanding that this moment in your life, every moment, every point in time in the exact present moment is an important aspect of where we're going. So we must enjoy it, or even if we don't enjoy it, we must appreciate it. And when you start to have those thoughts, bro, my best advice to you is to take a deep breath. Tell yourself, I'm good. Life's good. I know what I want, and nothing, no videos or no people or no negative influences are going to steer me in the wrong direction. I might feel like this right now, but 10 seconds from now, I'll be a-okay, and it's not an easy thing it's not going to just like fix your problems or anything, but it is a good like way to like pull yourself out of it, and actually visualize like this, the inconsistencies in your thought patterns, like it's just about your mental, bro. It's about your mindset. You have to develop a mindset that is stronger than the doubt inside the doubtful energy that comes from around you. Like me personally, I had a bad mindset. I had a very negative mindset growing up, and that's just because I got ADHD like a motherfucker, and I used to get very offended by people. Like I used to like take things very personally. So like I was just a very unhappy individual on the inside. Like I might have appeared happy, but what I was thinking inside my noggin, the thoughts that were coming up they were keeping me from being the best version of myself. Since I've implemented positive mindset and changing the way I think, when these negative thoughts start to come in, I stop them before I allow them to consume me, and I turn it in the other direction. So if I get like a negative thought about something, I'm like, bro, why are you thinking like that? Like, we're good. Like there's no reason to have a perception like that when it's not beneficial for my growth.
I gotta start meditating again. I swear that's like the only thing that I've never been able to be consistent with. And I don't know why, because it's like one of those habits that I'm drawn the most to pursuing. Like that and cold shower or ice baths are two things that I've always wanted to implement a lot, but they've been the two that I've gotten the most return on investment from them, but they're the least that I've put time into. But going back to like the whole enjoying the moment thing, I was watching that David Bowie thing last night. It's pretty good, but he was saying he said two main things that I really understood. Which first thing he said was, if you, by enjoying the moment, you are achieving your dream. Meaning by like, if you have that desire and you're going after it and you learn how to enjoy going after it, the needle will always move forward. But if you and you're gonna chase that needle, but if you learn how to enjoy that being right there as it moves, then that is the best thing. And I feel like through meditation, well, I know for a fact through meditation, if I did that on a daily basis, I'd be good. But another thing he said, and this goes to like the whole self-doubt and the comparison thing, as he listed himself and a bunch of other figures. He was like me, Elvis, John Lennon, all these giant big names. if you spent uh if you spent a day with them, you would not have the same perception that most people have of them, because all you see is that little glimpse. All you see is that video of Mac Miller in the studio with a smile on his face, happy as can be, like just fucking straight vibing and creating, making dope shit, incredibly dope shit. And you don't get to see those points where they might have laid in bed or not wanted to talk to anybody or were just fucking human beings. And then you build that, if you build your image of what you want off of that small little glimpse, but you are the one who's going to be with yourself through those other things, and you judge yourself by not just being those small little glimpses, then that's just a recipe for disaster. And that's one of the things I gotta work on, is enjoying, just enjoying everything. And if I'm sad, listen to sad music. If I'm happy, listen to this. Don't try to force anything. Just go with the flow, like you said. But I don't know. I'm gonna start doing that, but I just have such a hard time with letting go on certain things. Like yesterday was the first time in like 3 years that I've just like laid on my floor listening to music with my eyes closed. Like just like letting go, listening to the fucking music. And I used to like doing that a lot, but every single time I would try to do it, little thoughts would creep into my head. Like, oh, you could be down there spending time with your grandpa. He's going to die. What are you doing wasting time on this? Just like shit like that. Or you're listening to music, but you're not making it. It's just all these like little fucking, I don't even know what to call them, but just like these little things.
It's called doubt, my friend.
That are complete I guess. I mean,
that's doubt.
They don't really. I don't know. Maybe it's myself, me rationalizing it. But I mean, to me, it just seems more like valid. They seem kind of valid. Like I don't really. I'm never like, oh, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Or like, I rarely, if ever, am like, you're bad. Normally in my head, my ego is in control, and I'm like, hey, you the shit, dog. That was the fucking coldest bass line. Keep doing that. Like, that's usually my inner voice. But I mean, I guess that the doubt disguises itself cleverly.
Yeah, it does, my friend. Hey, look. If it's steering you away from the path that you've chosen to walk, which, look, if music is something that you truly love to do and you truly love, okay, and you want to create it, and you let any thought inside your mind take you off of that path, that was doubt creeping in and making you quit. Because look, you got the devil on one side and you got God on the other side telling you, hey, you can either come down this path or you can come down this path. What you want to do, bro? What you want to do? You know, and it's all about patience, you know? Patience and no expectations. Just enjoy the moment and keep your mind empty. And what I mean by that is keep your mind empty means do not distinguish what is a good thought and what is a bad thought. They're all just thoughts that are not yours. These thoughts that are coming to your mind, they're not yours at all. These are not. And what I mean by that is I don't mean like the thoughts that you intentionally think that you think about. I'm talking about the thoughts that come into your mind that you don't want there. Those are not yours. Those are just that's your brain interpreting this negative energy that you have developed inside your mind, because that's what we're so used to as a collective consciousness. We're used to right now in the state of our the most people's awareness. They're acting out of pure survival instinct, and we're told that we need to make a bunch of money and we need to do this and we need to do that, blah 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 blah. What I believe is, if you do what you love, you do it as much as you can. Rick Rubin said this, so I've held this to my heart, and I know you're going to relate to this. He said, do what you love to do as much as you can, as often as you can, with no expectations of the outcome. Meaning, just do what you love to do. Do it with nothing in mind. No comparison to other people, with no expectations of how it's supposed to turn out or where you're supposed to be at. If you just purely dive in that love and that passion of creating something, you're going to create something beautiful, and it's going to take you very far places. Everything that you want, everything that you desire, is going to follow when you step into that act of doing what you love. It's the act of being in love, which is, if you want to be fully in love, right, you have to love yourself, you have to love others, and you have to do what you love to do, not do what somebody else wants you to do so that you can survive. I'm going to the grave doing what I love to do. I don't care if I'm fucking homeless doing what I love to do. If I'm doing what I like, what I love to do, and I gotta do other stuff to support what I like to do, that's fine, because I know that this is part of the process. I have no expectations of how things are going to turn out, but I have a vivid manifestation of what I want. But it's not necessarily, my manifestation isn't necessarily filled with material objects or material desires. It's rather, my manifestation is it is a feeling of achievement, of success in doing the thing I love. And whatever it looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but I know what it feels like. And what it feels like is amazing. I feel abundance in creative energy. I feel abundance in the act of creation. And I know that the person I desire to be, I already am that person. I am actively being that person because I chose to be the best version of myself. So, the biggest key is presence and awareness. You have to be present and aware. You can't let your mind veer off into, well, if I don't utilize my time like this and that, then I'm gonna miss out on doing this, or yada yada yada. Because all that time you spent thinking about the possible outcomes, and all that time you thought thinking of the past, or all that time you thought of thinking that you weren't good enough, you wasted so much energy and time not doing anything. But if you just do stuff, if you just do it. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. Just do it if you like to do it. If you love it and it makes you feel good and it doesn't hurt anybody, that's the biggest thing. If you're doing something that you love to do and it's like hurting somebody, hurting yourself, I mean, it's not my business. I personally wouldn't take that path, but I mean, I guess there isn't necessarily any rules because I didn't make the rules. So I'm not sure of the rules. I don't think there is any rules on this. As long as it makes you happy and you are truly passionate in doing it, and you have no expectations of what the outcome looks like, then you can never fail. You understand that you could never fail if you just do what you love to do, because I'm doing what I like to do. How am I failing? You know, I can't fail if I just doing what I like to do, you know.
The whole Ted Bundy did what he liked to do, and he just did what he wanted and got his shit done.
Shit, I mean
maybe that's listening to that devil on your shoulder too much.
Well, I mean, if you have the desire to go out and murder a bunch of people, I mean, I don't advise anybody harm anybody, but I mean, if that's in your spirit and you so choose to do that, that has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, what other people do.
Flow, dog.
Hey, what other people do, what other people's choices are, that has no purpose in my life. It holds nothing for me. Now, you telling me that you love music and that you love creating music, that triggers a deep connection between me and you, and that pushes my passion even further, because we're really good friends, and now you have the same connection or a similar connection to creating music that I do, that deeply inspires me to keep going. But if Joe Schmuck down the street wants to get drunk every night and beat his wife, I mean, I'm sorry for that family, but that has nothing to do with me, you know? Like, I can't change how he acts. I can't tell him what to
That's
do.
how. Yeah. It's like Palestine, Israel. I don't give a fuck. I ain't make songs about it. I'm just gonna make my music.
Right.
Fuck 'em.
Like, I'm
Not fuck them in that sense, but like, let them do what they gotta do. Hash it out. I ain't gonna get in the middle of no fight.
I mean, bro, we don't even know the full story. We just know what the news media outlets tell us, and that's with everything. You know, why should I form an opinion about something that I have no understanding on? I don't even have a smallest inkling of what's going on over there, nor do I necessarily care. You know, I just know that war is not good. War is tragic because we are killing each other over things that don't matter. So I've choose to just not care. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, if it doesn't, if it doesn't provide a substantial weight, if it doesn't provide substantial weight to me, meaning like, if I can't learn something very beneficial from it, if I can't connect, if it's doing nothing for me, then I'm not going to get involved with it. And that's not selfish, because I go out of my way to talk to people who are going through a hard time and trying to help them and listen to them and try to uplift them or whatever they may need. And that's mutually beneficial, because they need somebody to talk to, and I want somebody to talk to. That's not me saying that everybody should do this. Everybody should do this. Work harder on yourself than you do your job. Work hard on your job, you make a living, which is fine. You work hard on yourself, and you make a fortune, which is finer. You know what I mean? I forgot who said that, but it was one of those philosophical dudes that I fuck with.
Unless you've magically gotten to the point where your job is your passion.
But see, even at that point, it's not a job.
Whenever. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the wordage is important. Like, whenever you first texted me that, I almost, like, at first, I kind of, like, disagreed with you. Because I was still in this, like, mindset of, like, oh, I'm going to use what's at my disposal, and I'm going to get really good at this construction shit, and this is what I want to do. I'll just do this for the rest of my life. And then I snapped too, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about this shit. I just started caring about it like 2 weeks ago. I just flashed back to my music and all the times I've loved making music and just creating things, and I was like, I'm kind of creating things, but it's like the purpose, the motivation behind it is nowhere near where I want it to be.
Right.
Like, if I lived in a Golden State, I love carpentry, I love building, but the only way I could see myself actually pursuing it as a career is if I had a bunch of money and I could just build a bunch of structures with no stipulations or rules or judgment. And there ain't that, but there is that with the music. There is that with the videos. There is that with the true art. And it just, I don't know. The doubt disguises itself. To all the people listening, the doubt disguises itself, but the best thing you could do is find tools to disable the doubt, to fight against it. Like, for me, I was listening to everything you were saying, and then after you said that thing about the doubt, I started thinking, and I was like, what is a combatant thing towards me saying like, "Oh, is this really my true motivation, my true passion?" And I was like, "Well, let me think." Track it back to whenever I was like 5 years old. I had a guitar. Everyone would say I ran around playing a guitar and just like singing. I don't remember it, but that's what they said. Then I fast forward to like being like 14 years old, driving with my grandma 2 hours to her house, and all of a sudden, it was the craziest shit. All of a sudden, I just got this urge to be like, I was looking for somewhere to go shopping. Because she was like, I'm going to buy you a Christmas gift because I didn't get to see you this Christmas. So I'm like thinking of what I would want. And I'm like, maybe I'd get me like a fucking mouse or a keyboard or a video game. I start thinking and thinking, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a music store. So we go to this like small family-owned music store, and I see, I have it over there. This blue Mustang, like the one Kurt Cobain played in that Smells Like Teen Spirit video, and I'm just drawn to it. I don't even know like Smoke on the Water, but I'm just drawn to it. And this guy comes over, I'm like real insecure and shy about it and all that. And it was just like this crazy feeling. And after that, I spent 4 hours every day playing the guitar. But I dropped off. And then that doubt comes back. The doubt comes back, and it's like, well, you dropped off at that point, so is it really? And then I fight that doubt. And I'm telling this is the way my brain fights it. Is I fight that doubt by being like, well, no, I was only limited to a guitar. I wasn't exposed to singing and playing or creating music with endless possibilities. So it all comes down to these like little ways you can fight the doubt. And through what you said, I've gathered a little bit of a better perspective on it for sure.
I mean, and that's just what it all comes down to, man. Like, think about it, bro. Think about the deep connection that you've always had with it. And like me personally, every time I think about it, like every time I try to think about like, oh, am I good enough or whatever, I think about like how it was written in my destiny. Because as a kid, I was drawn to music. I had a guitar. I had an electric guitar as a kid, okay? Around 6 years old, I had a guitar. And okay, that's my first memory of music, right? And mind you, I do not have a good memory of my childhood because my childhood was pretty fucked up. So the memories I do have are the ones that stick out to me the most. Okay, so I had a guitar as a kid. All right, my grandpa owned a recording label. He has a recording label.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my grandpa.
Really?
Yeah, I've only met him one time, but the one time I met him, me and him talked about so much shit, bro. He had his own like recording.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive, but he's senile. Like so that side of my family, because he's old and like messed up now. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but like he's not in really good health. His side of the family, like his family, they basically they locked him down basically. So I can't contact him. I can't do anything, even though like technically I'm the heir to everything that he owns basically, like his house, his recording studio. He told me like he was gonna put it in my name. There's like I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff that's supposed to be mine, and I'm under the suspicion that they cut us off from talking to him so that they could keep everything for themselves. Which I don't care. You know, that doesn't bother me. I don't care about material items. I don't want him to die, first of all, so I don't give a fuck like what I get from him dying, you know what I mean? Like, so whatever possessions that they seem are necessary to keep, that's just foul to me. But regardless, that's all. I just went on a tangent there. The point is it's in my blood, and it's always been in my soul, and it's always been around me. I just was too naive to just take a step back and like, or not even naive, but like blinded. I was just so like distracted with everything else around me, the desire to have more, to be more, than what I actually am. And who I actually am is I am a musician. I'm a creative person. I create things. I I love the act of creating, whatever that may be. I'm really drawn to music for creating, but I like to create whatever. There's a guy who was born. I'll have to find his name. I'll send you his name. I ordered the book where I found it from. But there's a guy that was born on my birthday, not the exact same date, but like it was like in the 1980s or something. Um, he was a sculptor. He's a sculptor, born on my birthday, and it was like, bro, I would love to sculpt some shit. Like whenever I got the,
You froze.
can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, you did. You got to where you said the 1980s. He was.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I'm gonna have to send you it after we get off of here. But um, he's a sculptor, and I looked at a lot of his sculptures, and like I don't know, it just like it drew me closer to the creative side of myself. Like I was like, the expression of creation is not only in one form. If you are a creator, if you are in tune with the fact that you are a creator, then you know that everything you do is an art form. Everything that you practice is art and work at the same time. Like they said, art. It's like almost like there's a science and an art to everything that you do. I think Leonardo da Vinci said, "Practice the art of science and the science of art." Everything, and that's in everything. That means like everything that you do, study it with. If you're making art, if you're creating, study in such a way that is in a scientific almost method, but at the same time, you know, in your research and your work that you do, look at it as a piece of art. And when you bring those two things together, because evolution and creation coexist together when something that is called quantum entanglement. A lot of people like to divide the two. That you have your people who say there's creation and then there's evolution. The evolution theory and then the creation theory. People seem to think that these two things can't coexist together, but they do. They perfectly exist together in quantum entanglement, and that's what we should do as creatives: is learn to be present with every moment of the day. Do your best to avoid distractions. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, okay? Uh, so remind yourself when you start getting distracted. What I like to do is I like to remind myself, this isn't necessarily what I want to do anyways. Why am I doing it? Like, why am I sucked in onto the YouTube shorts? Why am I watching endless videos of stupid shit for 30 minutes to an hour? I just wasted this time when I could have been doing something else productive with it. But I don't get myself down. I don't down myself with it. What I say is, okay, this isn't productive. This isn't helping me get to where I want to go. So I'm gonna put this down, and I'm gonna pick up the guitar. I'm gonna pick up the drum pad, or I'm gonna pick up the bass, or I'm gonna pick
You froze again. Hello? You still froze. Damn it, why is it?